just a simple guy, TV anchor. Used to be a journalist, still am, sort of. At least I play one on TV. I think it's pretty simple. The coastal strategists got it wrong, and no one believed that Kamala Harris cared about people like them.
Yeah, well, first of all, I don't buy your aw shucks routine. Used to be a journalist. No, I think that's a very fair...
I should say I used to be a street reporter. Now I'm an anchor.
Yeah. I think that's a fair assessment. Look, the thing I was struck by watching the results come in, people always say Twitter isn't real life. I think for a lot of people who live between New York and DC or on the West Coast, they kind of think it is. It's like, they think that that's how people think. And the truth of the matter is what we saw happen on Tuesday night was the math just doesn't add up. You can't not win in the Midwest, in the South, and in the Southwest and expect to be elected president. And Leland, you mentioned it, but I just want to put a pin in it because I think it's so important. Donald Trump is going to win the popular vote by about 2 million, maybe a little less than 2 million. That's a really big deal because remember, you and I talked about 6 months ago, Harris has to win the popular vote by 3 or 4 points to win the Electoral College. Well, he won the popular vote and the Electoral College, and he won the Electoral College, or he's going to, I think, with more Electoral College votes than he got in 2016 and more Electoral College votes than Joe Biden got in 2020. So this is a mandate. My view on this always is you can like it or you can lump it. You can say, well, everyone who voted for Donald Trump is a dumb, racist, misogynist. But you know what? That's not going to solve Democrats' brand problem. And they cannot sell their candidates outside of the coast, and you cannot win if that's the case.
They can't even sell it on the coast. And this is what I thought was fascinating. Donald Trump lost New York City. Of course, he was going to lose it.
Yep.
Got it. He lost it by the lowest margin since 1988. He lost Cook County 25 points better than he did against Joe Biden.
New Jersey, Leland.
New Jersey was
close.
New Jersey was close. Virginia, he did better by about 10 points. So it's even the places where the coastal strategists live and talk to people at their parties out in the Hamptons and everything else. It doesn't work with even the people who live there.
No, and I'll note, Leland, if I can add one quick thing. Look, this was sweeping. I believe, with the exception of Utah, Donald Trump did better in every single state in 2024 than he did in 2020. That's pretty remarkable, number one. Number two, this wasn't just rural America. Yes, he did better in rural counties than he had before. He also did significantly better in urban counties than he did before.
You said a great line. That's a mandate. It is a mandate to do what?
Okay, so he ran on a couple things. And, Trump on policy is a little bit hard to pin down, but I would say he ran on two very clear things. One, significant tariffs against China and other countries, number one. Number two, he says round up all the people who are here illegally and deport them. I don't know logistically if that can happen. I don't know how exactly we find all of them. I don't know where the money comes from. But to me, those are the two. And I will note, Leland, I do think, look, Scott Tranter, my friend...
To be fair, though, didn't he really run on closing the border? Okay.
He did.
And I'm going to help you economically, and I'm going to end crime, and I'm going to, or at least get a lid on crime. We're not going to let people out just because they had a hard childhood. And number three, and this is where I thought that ad explained it, right? Kamala is for they, them.
Yeah.
It was that Kamala cares about progressive orthodoxy, Latinx, pronouns, men can be women if they wear dresses, and you have to accept it. It's a traditional values campaign that he ran on.
Yes, I think that's really important to note. I do think the woke stuff from 2020 to 2024 that Kamala Harris did embrace, as did, by the way, Joe Biden and every other Democratic leader, because that's how they got to be Democratic leaders. That stuff does not sit well with a lot of people, including lots of people who I think are probably, would be a registered Democrat.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.